Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Rick. Welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Hope you guys are having a good day. And as you guys probably already know, Call of Duty Treyarch put out this tweet just the other day talking about how there is a no skill-based matchmaking game mode within the Black Ops 7 beta. Now, at first, this seems amazing and the gameplay does feel a lot better within that game mode, but I just want to make sure we get down to the truth as to why Call of Duty is making this action. Got this video from Who's Immortal called Call of Duty Skill-Based Matchmaking Update just got exposed. Got a lot of information here that I want to cover. I want to go over with you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below. Is no skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty going to save the franchise, or is it too late? Let me know what you guys think, but other than that, let's get into the video.
Of course, yesterday, Call of Duty about broke the internet when, with the patch notes that we expected for Black Ops 7 and the beta here went out, they dropped a complete surprise by saying that they were introducing a new playlist called the Open Mosh Pit, which functions with classic matchmaking, which is essentially the same matchmaking system that Call of Duty used prior to skill-based matchmaking being introduced. So
I just want to take this time to say thank you, Battlefield 6. Without you guys, we would not be seeing this type of progress within Call of Duty. Without you guys putting pressure on Activision and how dog shit they've been for the past how many years, we would not be seeing these changes. We got a long way to go because this is only a playlist. We need default matchmaking to be without SBMM. But again, without Battlefield 6, ladies and gentlemen, none of this would be happening. So thank you. If you guys agree, smack that like button. Let's go.
A reduced skill focus matchmaking playlist, essentially a playlist with no skill-based matchmaking, which obviously has been one of the biggest requests in COD for years, basically since MW 2019 when they cranked it to the max, right?
And I just don't understand. I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Why does Activision, why does Call of Duty think that SBMM is the right thing for this game? I mean, literally since they put it in the game in 2019 and they've had it for the past 6 years and only made it worse. And you see how many people are leaving Call of Duty, how many people are complaining about it. Now they literally have to just make playlists without it because it's such a big deal. Why do they consider even leaving it in this game when it's so negative, when everybody just freaking hates it? I just can't understand that business tactic, that strategy. I don't know. I would love to know why you guys think it's even, required for them to have it in this game. It just makes zero sense. Is because the devs all suck at playing Call of Duty? That might be it. I don't know.
So that, of course, got everybody talking. A reduced or a no skill-based matchmaking playlist. And I've already put in way too many hours in this playlist, admittedly. You guys have put me in the position I'm very blessed to be in, where I can actually go through and thoroughly test these things. And when stuff like this happens, put a lot of hours in and actually get quality feedback and quality experience to relay in videos like this. But not only do we have an actual takeaway from this playlist and a gameplay experience to go off of now, we actually have someone who was, in a way, directly responsible for skill-based matchmaking in COD, one of the people who worked on creating it, exposing what this change is and what this reduction to skill factoring into matchmaking is. As far as the initial takeaways go with this, I've seen the sentiment around a lot on Twitter. It seems like most people are in general agreement here that while this is great news and this is a huge step forward, the first time Call of Duty's really strongly addressed the complaint of skill-based matchmaking, doing this just as one playlist in game is going to end up with them having very skewed data. Obviously,
I still don't understand why they just made it a playlist, because literally everybody that knows how this works understands that if it's just a playlist, and if you're a bad player or you're maybe an average player and you don't want to have that possibility of facing somebody that is literally playing like a pro out of your skill brackets, why would you go in the open mosh pit, right? So like, having them have just a playlist of that, and everybody that's obviously good at the game is probably understand that, classic matchmaking means no SBMM. It's going to just be filled with sweat. So like, they should have literally just made it the simple. They shouldn't even have told anybody. They should have told us after the beta or whatever, or maybe just said, hey, we're doing 4 days of no SBMM, or how many days of no SBMM, and then go off the data that way. Or how about this? Forget the fucking data at all. Back in the day, nobody gave a fuck about the data. Nobody cared about the matchmaking. We just cared, okay, how quick can we get into a game? How is the connectivity? How is the just hit reg? Everything like that. Forget the data. Just get rid of SBMM. Simple. Make it easy on yourself. Stop worrying about it and worry about the other shit to make the game better.
When you see that there's a no skill-based matchmaking playlist, the sweaty players are going to flock to that because they want easier lobbies,
yes,
of course.
Exactly.
Players who care about connection are going to flock to that because they want the better connection lobbies. And those typically are the people like you and me who are chronically online and are actively tuned into this stuff. Whereas, Billy Bob Joe over here, who just jumps on the game because he sees the new commercial for Call of Duty. He jumps on the beta and tests it out very casually, is not following news accounts like me or people on Twitter and whatnot. They're just playing the game. They're not seeing open mosh pit. They're going to see whatever's at the very top of the playlist and just jump on in. So the casual players that a lot of sweaty...
I will say this though, at least they made it at the top when you click find a game or find a match, whatever. It was open mosh pit and I think just regular core mosh pit and a hardcore mosh pit, whatever. So having open mosh pit at the top is great because anybody that's just trying to play the game is just going to click it and get in. They probably won't even know what the hell they're getting into. But props to them for not trying to be weird and put it at the way bottom and try to hide it from everybody else.
Players want to play against probably are not flocking to this mode as much, and instead it's going to be a very sweaty situation in some cases where because all the sweats are going to this mode because they want gunplay to be better, they want gunfights to be easier for them, they want to get more kills and do better, you end up finding a lot of other sweats with like-minded playstyles. That happened in plenty of the matches that I played where there were a few guys on the other team was like, yep, that guy knows what he's doing. I can see it with his movement. I can see how he's gunning me. Like, clearly that guy knows what he's doing. And then I'd turn another corner and I'd fry a guy and I was like, man, that poor player had no clue what to do when I stimmed and slid past him, right? So what I noticed is that, yes, there were still plenty of sweaty players in this playlist from my experience, and I'm definitely, you know, one of those sweaty players.
That's how it is, though, without SBMM. That's how classic matchmaking was. You face good players, you face bad players, you face average players. That's how it was, but the connection in the lobby, the latency, the hit reg was all better, and that's why we want it. We don't need to play against bad players all the damn time. We just want our bullets to hit. We don't want to die from somebody that's shooting us, but we can't even see them on our screen because we're playing behind while they're playing in front because they have better connection to the server than I do because of SBMM. So we don't care if there's sweats. I'll find another game after. I'll leave that lobby, whatever the case may be. But most of the time, it's a mix of everyone. It's a mix of good, mix of bad. That's how it should be.
But also, there was a consistent balance across teams. Yes, there were situations where I was clearly the best player on my team, and I felt like I was having to carry some not so great players. But on the other team, there were a couple of good players, and then players that I basically just dominated the whole game, and that's why I was the top of the leaderboard on my team. There were situations where my team thrashed the other team because I had myself and a couple other good players, and the other team had maybe one or two good players. The matches just felt like there was better, ironically, better competition amongst the skill levels, basically, where it just felt like it was more balanced and every game played a little bit different, whereas in the normal playlist when the skill base was cranked the first day or so, every lobby felt like I was trying out for, you know, the CDL basically. And like,
I'm not even joking when I say this, guys. If you haven't played the beta or if you didn't play the beta early, the first day and the second day were unplayable. I am not joking when I say that. I'm not rage baiting when I say that. I'm not messing around. It was unplayable. This open matchmaking actually made it playable. It made it enjoyable. I am saying that. Although I'm not the biggest fan of these maps, the more I play them, I'm not a fan of the TTK still being as fast as it is. It is actually enjoyable and it's actually fun when I actually see myself shoot that person and it's registering. And I'm seeing my ping be low every single game. Not high because, you know, I did good in the match before and they have to manipulate it and put me against a bunch of people that aren't anywhere near my server because I live in Chicago. There's a server right next to me, literally where I'm at. Every single time I play in open matchmaking, I always have great connections. So it's a great change. I just pray that Battlefield 6 has an amazing launch, so it kind of forces Call of Duty to say, yep, we have to do this. We have to make no SBMM be the default matchmaking. I really do.
It was COD champs, and gameplay didn't feel that different. I was having to do the same strats, the same sweat every single game. So
sweaty.
The variety in gameplay felt noticeable for me. The biggest thing for me, though, is connection. The first day or two, when there was no skill-based matchmaking, off matchmaking, that was a lot of the word matchmaking in one sentence, my connection was all over the place. I'd have games where it was good, typically my first few matches of the day. Then I'd have games where it felt terrible.
Manipulation,
in the no
baby.
skill-based matchmaking playlist, in the open mosh pit, my connection essentially felt the same every single match.
Every match I played, I had the same exact ping. I'm not bullshitting you guys. Now, when I play with my boy Fulu, who's from California, and I'm in Chicago, okay, my ping was always high when I was playing on his host. So that right there, like, I'm not even joking. Every single game I played with him, I was either 60 or 70 ping if he was host. If I was host, I was at 13 ping. He was at 60 or 70 ping. So that right there proves to you that there is no SBMM in this game mode. It's all ping based, which is awesome to see that they're not trying to lie to us because it's the truth. I mean, the ping tells everything. Ping is king in this. Now, I used to play with Fully back in the day, back in MW3, back in Black Ops 6, when there was skill-based matchmaking. Normally when we played together, we would have anywhere from low ping to maybe 30 or 40s. Never really got above 40 ping. But now every single game, whoever's not host has crazy high ping. It's awesome to see that they're actually trying this out and actually trying to get some data, even though fuck the data, get rid of it. But they're keeping their word and trying to see, hey, how much do people actually enjoy this? And I'm loving it.
And that was the biggest factor to me. I don't care if there's sweaty players
yes,
on my team or
exactly.
bad players on the other team, or vice versa, bad players on my team or sweaty players on the others. Obviously, I want to drop 100 kills and 0 deaths every game, but that's not going to happen. I'll deal with it. But I want my connection to be the best at all times. I want to be able to play with my friends that maybe aren't as good as me at the game, and I want for them to have a good time instead of being forced to play on my matchmaking, which is typically sweatier. And that's what this allows, which is huge. That's a huge step in the right direction, but I am a little bit worried about them having the skewed data of it being a full playlist. And I actually mentioned this on Twitter, like, this is an inherent W, an objective W, but I'd love for this to be the default matchmaking so that they have the most data possible during some of the open beta. And we'll see how they follow this up in the next few days. I'm sure we're going to get more communication on this. But as I mentioned at the start of the video, we do also have some direct response to this skill-based matchmaking update from someone who essentially worked on skill-based matchmaking for Call of Duty. So we do have this new post from Insider Gaming titled Black Ops 7 Skill-Based Matchmaking Compared to X-Defiant by X-Raven Software Matchmaking Expert. So as we go through this article here, keep in mind, if you guys enjoy the video, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. Much love to
smack the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Smack it!
In the channel here on the Black Ops 7 content. Obviously, busy few weeks ahead with Battlefield 6 dropping, Season 6, Black Ops 7 launch. You know, not too far behind all that. So
y'all just smack the like button if you guys can't wait for Friday, October 10th. Battlefield 6, baby. Oh, I'm so excited.
So really do appreciate all the love, all the support in the videos. And if you're new here, you want to help join us on the road to 1 million subscribers, be sure to hit that sub button to stay up to date with everything going on in the FPS scene.
I'm still trying to get to 100K subscribers. Please subscribe. Oh my God.
But here's what we got from Charlie Olson, who actually was one of the original creators, essentially, on skill-based matchmaking. Apples, Oranges, Call of Duty, X-Defiant. X-Defiant was given a nod by Charlie Olson, who we sat down with earlier this year to get the inside scoop on everything skill-based matchmaking in MMR. Olson,
worst thing to happen to gaming. Worst fucking thing to ever happen to gaming. Whose ever idea was this is just like, it probably sounded great in their head and on paper, but good God, worst thing ever.
Once spent a decade working at Raven Software, and his MMR algorithms made up the crux of Call of Duty's skill-based matchmaking model, starting with 2016's Infinite Warfare. So if you recall, if you've been around the channel for a while, we covered this when this information first dropped. Charlie Olson, basically one of the creators of skill-based matchmaking, he wrote some of the code in the MMR systems there for it. So he knows what he's talking about here, basically, right? He's still doing matchmaking stuff and whatnot. The X-Defiant reference comes from a comparison between Treyarch and Ubisoft's Mark Rubin, executive producer on X-Defiant, and how the two parties handled the math behind skill-based matchmaking. So here's the quote that says, ironically, Treyarch made the same mathematical fallacy in the Black Ops 7 patch notes that Mark Rubin made with X-Defiant. In the open mosh pit, skill consideration is drastically reduced with matchmaking, with the goal of providing more varied matches and experiences and varied outcomes. This playlist will match players with and against players of more varied skill differences than in the current multiplayer matchmaking system. It might be counterintuitive, but contrary to Treyarch's assumptions, random matchmaking actually leads to less varied match experiences and outcomes, not more. The more varied the skill differences, the less varied the outcomes. This isn't an opinion or a byproduct of player psychology, it's just a statistical reality. So what Charlie's actually saying here is that when they tone down the skill-based or not have it as the primary factor, like in the open mosh pit, you're actually gonna have less variety with your outcomes of games, whether you're doing really good or really bad, which is an interesting piece of data that he references, saying it's a statistical reality that's not just an opinion there. So clearly, like, he's had the data to back this up throughout his time working on this stuff. Olson went into the numbers and facts, saying if you are a 90th percentile player in the general population, your expected outcome on average without skill-based matchmaking is 90%. There will be a larger variety of skills within the match, but your experience will be consistent.
Isn't that just like how it should be? If you're just a good player, you worked all that time, all those hours playing the game to be good. Isn't that what it should be like, instead of getting punished? So if you're 90%, instead of being, you know, punished and bringing you down to 50%, you can always stay at 90%, maybe get better, maybe get a little worse if you're playing better competition. But isn't that just how life is? Isn't that how it should be if you're just putting more work into the game, wanting to be better at the game? I don't know. Am I looking at this wrong?
You will almost always be one of the 2 best players in the match and therefore a top performer. Ultimately, Olsen predicts that Treyarch will not see the results it's after with this open mosh pit playlist, and instead it'll see heavy self-selection. He summarizes that low-skilled players will actively avoid selecting the playlist, which, as I alluded to earlier, probably just drives a lot of players, a lot of sweaty players into this mode, and you might...
Should have never been a playlist. Should have been the default matchmaking. Just said, yep, we're getting rid of SBMM. Enjoy yourselves. Play it. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. That's how it should have been.
End up running into more sweats in a game than you would if just normal skill-based matchmaking was in effect. So what's the solution here? Olsen suggests that Call of Duty's developers should introduce a transparent function that allows players to check their MMR in their combat record, making skill-based matchmaking easier to understand and quantify. Also, higher skills should be rewarded in-game with higher skill lobbies and XP multipliers for said tiers. That's kind of what ranked is for. They just forced this onto us in pubs, you know, without the choice to avoid it.
Exactly.
So put simply, the better you...
Like, I don't want more XP because I'm better, but I have to, but to be able to get that more XP, I have to play against sweats like I did the first or second day of this beta. That's not fun. If I want to do that, if I want to play against those sweats and get good rewards, like he said, I'll go play ranked. It's pubs. It's casual. That's what it's supposed to be. Just let it be based off a ping, and you will let everything else go the way it's supposed to go. If you're dog shit, I'm sorry. Get better at the game. I don't know what to tell you. If you want it to feel less sweaty, tone down the sliding to 20 feet across concrete, sliding backwards, sliding sideways, whatever the case may be. How about you slow that down a little bit so it doesn't seem as sweaty? How about you slow down the TTK? I don't know. Some ideas.
You are, the more you play with better players, but the more rewards you also get for doing so. And Olsen also referenced this back when we first covered this topic, as that would be his idea to counter skill-based, is make it more rewarding for being good instead of feeling like you're being punished for being good, essentially.
I mean, you're still being punished because you're going to be thrown in these sweat lobbies of people that are unemployed as complete dog fuck. But yeah, maybe I'll get, you know, 20% more XP. Like, nobody really cares about XP in the year 2025. Nobody really cares. They care about having a good time, enjoying themselves after an 8-hour shift, or just having an argument with the wife, whatever the case may be, being able to just get on with the boys and enjoy themselves. You can't do that in Call of Duty anymore. You could back in the day when there was no SBMM, when Call of Duty was in its prime, when everybody was loving it, but you wonder why so many people hate it now. Wow, maybe the factor of SBMM and Activision just continuing to not listen to us, and then the cheaters, and then the servers. But if you see, as you're looking at right now with the open matchmaking, if you get rid of SBMM, that helps the server issue. It's kind of like I said that, I don't know, multiple months ago, maybe even a year ago, I've said this. If you guys look on record, I think people have been watching me. I literally said getting rid of SBMM solves 2 problems, not just one. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just a rage baiter, apparently. I'm just a fake hater. I'm just not even a guy that even cares about Call of Duty. I just talk shit for a living, apparently. Yeah, exactly. Sure.
In June, Ubisoft's X-Defiant, which was once dubbed a Call of Duty killer, of course, was taken offline forever. After several critical failings, it was revealed ahead of launch in 2024 that the game's casual playlist would have no skill-based matchmaking, which was paramount to a fun and varied game experience. That's partly what Olsen was referring to above.
And let's be real, when it comes to X-Defiant, that's the only reason people wanted to play it was because of no SBMM. But if they didn't have anything talking about SBMM, the game itself was just not fun to everybody. The only people that wanted to try it were Call of Duty players just trying to get rid of SBMM and trying to get away from that. But even without no SBMM, that game was just boring. Let's be real.
So interesting data here directly from someone who is responsible for skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty, or was responsible for SBMM, that goes against what a lot of us probably want to hear when it comes to this. Like, obviously, we want less skill-based matchmaking for better connection, for more varied party success and enjoyment and better experiences there. But when it comes to the actual competition and everything, there's a lot of interesting data out there that that honestly provides really interesting insight, in my opinion, and a very unique perspective here. But the matchmaking update here, the classic matchmaking, kind of exposed, kind of called out here by an expert in matchmaking, would be...
You know, I really don't care about the expert in matchmaking. I keep on hearing that Treyarch, Infinity Ward, you know, Activision, they all have the best the best experts in game development. Yet I'm looking at games that have so many broken bugs, so many problems, so many issues. And I'm thinking to myself, are these guys truly experts? Are these girls truly experts? Are these freaking whatever the hell they want to identify as experts? Are they? Like, does that mean shit to me? That expert, does he play Call of Duty? Did he play it back in the day? Does he play it now? Does he not watch the videos and see how almost everyone that loves Call of Duty has been playing Call of Duty for as many years as I have? 16 years, ladies and gentlemen. Some people 20. Holy shit. Did he play the game? Does he know what he's talking about? Really? I mean, I don't give a fuck about data. I really don't. Maybe I'm getting a little, arrogant or ignorant about this. But again, at the end of the day, what is the main issue with this game? What is the thing or when did this game start to drive people away? 2019 in the last 6 years, and what's the common theme that we've seen? SBMM and the other issues we've been complaining about. They finally just fixed the SBMM problem, so that's a step in the right direction. They're making some changes to the anti-cheat, maybe making it better. I don't know. That's another step in the right direction. So wouldn't you think that actually having the COD community on your side with these positive changes would actually help your game? I don't give a fuck what an expert thinks.
Very curious to get your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Do you view this open mosh pit as a good thing? Do you hope it's going to become this just universal playlist option rather than just being this one specific playlist? Do you agree with what Charlie Olsen's saying here? Curious to know your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, though, be sure to drop a like. And if you're new,
yes, please hit that like button. Shout out to Who's Immortal for the amazing insight on this. I just feel like when it comes to the data or the matchmaking or this little algorithm they like to play and manipulate us with while playing a fucking video game, they're just thinking way too much, in my honest opinion. Because I'm just going based off of my OG COD experience. Everyone loved playing the OG Call of Duties because it was an organic matchmaking gameplay style. You could talk to people without getting banned for saying some shit or talking shit in the lobbies. There was no disbanding lobbies, which Treyarch should bring back. Get rid of disbanding lobbies. Make it to where after the game you're playing with the same people. If you're talking shit to somebody, you can continue to talk shit to that person for 2 hours, 3 hours, the whole entire night, whatever the case may be. Make it like OG Call of Duty, because that's when the franchise was blowing up. And when they started making these stupid ass changes, that's when they went on a decline. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on what I said. I apologize if I sound a little weird. I got this thing in my throat going on, man. Something deep down in there, bro. The fuck are we doing? I don't know what's going on. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Can't wait for Friday. I will be live with the Battlefield 6 beta on Twitch, on YouTube, all that stuff. I'll see you guys there. I'm out this bitch. Peace.